In order not to become a victim of Putin's repression, many Crimean Tatars were forced to leave their native land. Among them is the Mufti of Crimea, Aider Rustemov. He stays in touch with many Crimean Tatars. According to him, after Russia's occupation of the Crimean Peninsula in 2014, illegal detentions and torture became the norm.
Крым уже живет всем этим уже 8 лет.
Crimea has been living with all this for 8 years now. We have fought and continue to fight. The only thing I would say is that it's trouble when it intensifies. When a new wave of trials comes, people become more united.
During the occupation of the peninsula, 243 Ukrainian citizens became political prisoners in the Russian Federation. 173 of them were Crimean Tatars. Their trials are deliberately made as public as possible, and the sentences are as harsh as possible in order to intimidate and silence an entire nation. According to historians, it is almost a full repetition of 1944, namely the genocide of the Crimean Tatars. Only the methods of the executioners have changed.
You were kicked out. They came into your house rudely and humiliated you. You were humiliated in front of your children, and your children were humiliated in front of you. You were kicked out. And what do we see? For almost 80 years, how the communist dictatorship humiliated and killed those people, and now the successor Putin's Russia humiliates and kills Ukrainians, and we oppose it.
In addition to direct pressure on people, Russia also cuts off all opportunities for the preservation and development of Crimean Tatar culture. We are talking about the barbaric destruction of the Khan's palace and the removal of cultural heritage to the territory of the Russian Federation. The Crimean Tatar language can't develop normally either. Only 12 schools work in the whole peninsula, and this is despite the fact that by law, the Crimean Tatar and Ukrainian languages have state status in Crimea on a par with Russian. At the same time, the Crimeans themselves are in favor of teaching Crimean Tatar in schools.
I would have learned it without even talking about it. I studied German, so I would also learn Crimean Tatar. I respect people. I think it would be very good if the Crimean Tatar language was taught in schools.
Yes, I don't mind, especially since I went to a village school myself. We had half a class of Crimean Tatars, Ukrainians and Russians. Crimean Tatars studied their native language, why not? There is nothing wrong with that.
And all this pressure is a punishment for the principled political position of the Crimean Tatars, who do not recognize the occupation authorities and do not cooperate with them.
We cannot go for cooperation with those who commit international crimes hour and hour again, because we have experienced it ourselves. And that's why now, especially when all these things started to show up in the educational processes, it shows that they see Crimean Tatars as disloyal to the Russian Federation.
To make the oppression of Crimean Tatars known to as many people as possible, the Crimean Tatar Resource Center is organizing a large-scale campaign called "They Were Not Convicted Yesterday, It Is Repeated Today." It is intended to raise awareness among Ukrainians about the genocide of 1944 and the events in Crimea after the occupation of the peninsula by Russia in 2014. Reported by Pavlo Shtermach, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.